Whoa, what's this? Bumblebee Movie toys. But I'm the guy who doesn't like the Bumblebee movie. That's true. But I do still like movie-verse Transformers stuff. And with Rise of the Beasts being really good, and it was honestly probably my favorite thing Transformers did last year, heck, it's kind of reignited my Transformers love in a way the fiction hasn't for a while now. I just felt like I needed more movie stuff, and I wanted it to be movie stuff that I didn't have. And when those 2-for-1 packs at Walmart were announced, I knew Ratchet and Brawn was one I was going to have to get, mainly because it was the only one of those packs where both of the figures were a figure I didn't have, even if I still do not really like this design. I really don't like it. Brawn I do. I never really complained about Brawn. Brawn doesn't even have that many designs to begin with. And yeah, his gun doesn't really like to stay on. And then I also got Thundercracker, because I love Thundercracker as an overall character, and although this design, the Bumblebee Seeker design, not my favorite thing ever, I don't hate it. And I figured out of all the iterations of movie Thundercracker, that original Voyager, that is the original Starscream with a more G1 head, I already have that figure as Starscream. I also don't like that new head. I think it's very ugly. And the Dark of the Moon one's weird, because I don't care that it's smaller, but I don't like that it has one piece of the two-piece Starscream weapon and then Roadbuster's weapon. I think that's kind of lame. And then the other one that uses the Nitro Zeus mold looks really cool, but people were asking a bit too much money for it. And I actually got this Thundercracker used, so he is missing a piece, I believe. I think he's supposed to have extra weapons that go under his wings. And also, this piece is all bent and likes to come off. I don't know if that was a common problem with this mold. Because, I mean, this is the... Nope. This is the first time I've ever handled it. I didn't bother with Starscream or Thrust. And I only realized recently that we don't have Skywarp yet. So... yeah, and his fin doesn't like to stay straight. But, you know, he's fine. He's a decent take on the Tetrajet in live action. It's an okay Cybertronian thing. I don't know if it's my favorite Cybertronian jet from the movieverse, but it's not bad. And, you know, it's colored up like my favorite Seeker boy. So, really, if there was a version of this mold I was going to own, it was, of course, going to be this one. But let's talk about what I really want to share with you. Brawn and Ratchet. And Brawn is actually really cool. He's a little round buggy thing. It's cool to have a version of Brawn that uses his yellowish orange in vehicle mode, because he normally doesn't. Which, you know, I do love when Transformers have like a hidden color that goes away for their robot mode, or for one of their modes anyway, which Brawn always did. But, you know, it's still kind of cool to have the vehicle colored like Brawn. And it's an interesting thing that Hasbro had to come up with themselves, since those designs in the Bumblebee movie were never meant to change. And yeah, it's kind of hollow here, and people have made jokes about him being a toilet on wheels, but I think it's a fun looking sci-fi thing. I do think it looks better with the cannon on top of it, but that cannon likes to come off. And he's got the drill, which is a reference to the G1 cartoon, which is a fun inclusion that you can pop off and fold the port down to give him a grill if you don't want him to be a drill vehicle. But why wouldn't you want him to be a drill vehicle? That's just very fun, very super robot, and it makes his vehicle mode feel like it has more of a purpose. And then Ratchet's vehicle mode is much like the robot mode, and it's kind of bland. At least it rolls really well. I can give it that. And the gun stays on a lot better. I think it's trying to go for a similar aesthetic as the High Moon video game. Because, I mean, where it's just a box, but sci-fi-ified, because it wants to feel like that box van. Oops. Because it wants to feel like that box van from the old 80s show. I don't really know what type of van that is. I've never looked it up. But, I mean, this just feels so lifeless. And, honestly, I didn't really like the van in the High Moon games either. I thought that one was also pretty lifeless. And I'm curious how that toy is going to come out. Because I think Gamer vs. Ratchet is on leak lists. So, and even if he isn't, we'll probably get him eventually. But yeah, it's just a very... It's a box on wheels, it rolls, and admittedly, it is just nice to have a Transformer that rolls well. I don't think we get this as much anymore, although it seems that we're finally getting it a bit more often. It'd be nice if we just got it every time. And honestly, I actually, even though I'm hating on this vehicle mode, spoilers, I kind of like this toy better in vehicle mode than robot mode. But, let's look at the guns, because there's something I didn't realize until I got these toys, that they're the exact same gun for Ratchet and Brawn. Like, it's a different sculpt, and there's, like, slightly different detailing. Like, this piece has got a bunch of different rectangles, whereas, like, Ratchet's just got the 5. But, like, these are very much just the same design, like, the same thing. Which is interesting, especially because I swear Ratchet's gun in the movie didn't even look like this. And I don't even remember what Brawn's looked like, so... It doesn't really matter, but it is interesting. And I looked up pictures of because I know Ironhide comes with this kind of gun too, because same mold. But I looked up pictures of, like, Wheeljack, because I don't own that toy either, and he also has a gun like this. I mean, if that's true to the movie, that's true to the movie, but kind of used to every Transformer having their own unique type of gun. And it's interesting to have them have, like, a standardized blaster. And speaking of guns, Thundercracker's got his undermounted tri-barrel thing, and this thing kind of comes off a bit easy, which is it's easy, and this is an okay weapon. I mean, it would have been fine, it's just, he doesn't always hold on to it so well, at least for me. But, like, you know, these guys all got their pluses and minuses. I definitely think Brawn's the best one here in vehicle mode. Most interesting, most unique. He feels the most like you couldn't get what he does out of another toy. Whereas Ratchet feels generic, and, like, we just had the Siege line, so we've had Triangle Seekers. But, you know, these guys are interesting in their vehicle modes, but let's just see what they're like in robot mode. Alright, let's start off with Thundercracker again. Oh, he's a bit too tall for the camera. There we go. And here he is. He's a bit tall, bit lanky. Not the most naturally proportioned, some people would say, but I mean, if we want to use real human proportions, there are some humans that look like this. And yeah, I actually legitimately do think the Seekers here are some of maybe even the best of the Cybertronian designs from Bumblebee. Because, I mean, they don't really feel as lame or as boring as the other ones to me. They're definitely the most complete, since they're the one that actually had a vehicle mode. And even if we bring in Starscream here, like, I can actually believe that this, in Starscream's colors, is this character. Like, I can believe that they're the same guy, even though, like, his legs aren't shaped like this, and because he's still got the lanky arms, and he's still got, because let's be honest, movie Starscream always had a thin body like this. He just has extra jet stuff that can wrap around it, and by extra jet stuff I mean the wings that were on his back. Like, it's honestly very believable that these are the same guy, just evolved, even though they're not the same guy, because this is Thundercracker and that one's Starscream, but you get what I mean. And anyway, let's get out of here, Starscream. This isn't about you, it's about Thundercracker, your brother, or I guess your apprentice, according to the movie universe side material. And yeah, he's looking good in his Thundercracker blue. I don't really like his feet. They're kind of weird. They're so tiny. And I don't really get what these circular things are. Like, are they lights, guns, pistons? They look the most like pistons. I don't completely get what's going on there. And I do also just think that the legs are a little bit messy with all the hinges and stuff, but I mean, he's got to transform, so he's going to need them. And the head is interesting, how he's kind of got like a gas mask going on. And every version of this mold, except for Starscream, has that head, I believe. Which I guess means just Thundercracker and Frost. Although we'll get Skywarp apparently this year, I believe. I think Skywarp showed up in leak listings recently. And I also don't like the ball joint for this head. It's too far back. Like, see, look at that. That just looks ugh. And this is actually an interesting take too for the nose cone thing, where it's like a part of it comes up and is right next to the head, where the rest of it goes down on the chest traditionally. That's actually kind of cool. I do like that idea. And then my biggest problem with this guy is this gun, because it's like, it's an okay design. Like, it's not bad. And I don't think any movie Starscream has had an amazing blaster. I mean, that's gotta be why they picked the buzzsaw for this one and not the missile launcher, because it's like his guns are just kind of boring. But my biggest problem is he doesn't really hold it. Because, like, look at this. Look at this. He's holding it diagonally. Like, if you have him put the arm straight, then it's pointed down. So to point it straight, you gotta pose his arm weird, and it just kind of falls out, usually. And yeah, that happens too. He starts holding it like a shield. Now, of course, now it's staying in tight. No, yeah. Because it's like, if you want him to hold it tight, he holds it diagonally. If you want him to hold it in a way that looks proper, he'll have to hold it loose and just keep dropping it. But, like, overall, he's an okay Thundercracker. I just got him because I've wanted Thundercracker in my movie collection for so long. Since I like Thundercracker, I like the movie verse. We've had so many movie Thundercrackers, and this one was both the most available from what I could see online of all the various ones, and plus this one was actually in a movie, so if I was gonna have a movie Thundercracker, I might as well have the one that was on the big screen, because he's probably never going to be in another movie again. And, oh, okay. I don't even know if his wings are supposed to be kept that far up, but that one keeps drooping. But, like, whatever. He's Thundercracker. He's here. He's my boy. I've always wanted him in live action. Now I do. He's not my favorite movie-verse figure ever, but I like him, if only because I like Thundercracker. And then we got Brawn and his big gun that's like as long as he is tall, which is amazing. And Brawn, again, best figure here. Best figure in this lot, maybe even the best figure based on the Bumblebee movie. I mean, I didn't get every Bumblebee movie figure, but pretty fun one. Pretty fun one. And you can see, I'm sure everybody knew about this, but his drill can combine with his gun and the barrel, or you can clip it here and give him like a scope for some reason, or you can use the same port that was used to mount the gun in vehicle mode to put it on his back, and it stays on here better than the gun, actually. Oh, now I'm putting it off, but yeah, it stays in there, and it actually stays in there tight, unlike the gun, which for some reason on my copy just won't stay in at all. And there's not much to say about Brawn, like, other than he's a well-sculpted figure. He's got good movement. The only thing is, I do wish he had a swivel in the bicep, so he could move his arms in, because it would be nice to pretend that he could hold this gun two-handedly. And he admittedly has a weird face, because that's just a thing with Bumblebee Movie Autobots. And a lot of them have these dead skull-like faces. Well, speaking of dead skull-like faces, let's bring in Ratchet, who literally, one of the many reasons I don't like this design, they look like corpses. Looks worse on Ironhide than Ratchet, but I'm never gonna own the Ironhide version of this toy. And here's Ratchet. He's a big, chunky thing, and a bit too chunky. Like, his torso just goes out so far, but he's got these tiny, tiny little shoulders, and these arms, I just don't like anything about these arms. Like, the legs are fine, but they just don't feel in proportion with the rest of the body. And he's got this big giant window that's sticking out so far, and it's here just because he had a window in G1, but it's also weird because it looks like a giant deck, like to a ship. Like, that little box truck he turns into could be the island on an aircraft carrier. That is what he looks like. It's like he doesn't really feel like anything. He feels the most like a Transformer that a human would be piloting. Like, you feel like there should be like 20 people in here just watching. Although I gotta admit, having his gun slided across his... Slighted. I don't know what I'm saying. Having his gun just plug in like that and have it holstered across his back diagonally, that is actually pretty cool. That is actually really cool. And yeah, and well, now taking his back apart and putting the gun in, and yeah, he's looks like G1 Ratchet, but in a more movie style, and he's got the gun so he can go boom, 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 boom. Don't expect him to do any healing, because this Ratchet only got a gun. This ain't a medic. This is a soldier. A soldier. Ah. Yeah. Whoop. Okay. Yeah, now his gun is on the ground. And yeah, he's not a bad toy. He's decent. But he's just based on a design I really don't like. A design I really think is boring. But now that he's available in a 2-for-1 pack for Brawn, I would definitely do it. I would buy that pack for Brawn. And, you know, you get a bonus Ratchet. And I actually do, even though I don't like this design, I appreciate having this Ratchet, because I don't have a Ratchet for my Studio series, technically. Because, I mean, I have this one, the Nest one, because I love crazy repaints. And I know, no, making him all gray, is that crazy? Not really, but... you know, it's not what he looks like, but I really don't like this mold. It's like they took Dark of the Moon Ratchet and just made it bad, gave it a worse gun. And mine also, this arm just pops off so easy because this part is bent out of shape. So, yeah, I really just was disappointed with this figure. And I do have Dark of the Moon Ratchet somewhere. Like, most of my figures from the first 3 movies are buried right now, so I can't really access them. And... admittedly, Hasbro admitted in a Q&A that they want to redo 07 Ratchet, because they know they screwed up here. They know they screwed up. So it's like, I think this is the worst Ratchet design in live action, but compared to the way Studio Series depicted the classic movie Ratchet, I do think if you want a Studio Series Ratchet, right now this is the one to buy. But, like, it's the best one, not because it is the best, but because it got a better toy in the context of Studio Series. And plus, this Brawn is great. This honestly might be the best Brawn ever made. Because, I mean, Brawn doesn't get that many toys. And I admit, I don't even have that many of them, because I'm not some super Brawn fan. I just have the Titans Return one, and the other Titans Return one, which are both great, and I just don't have a reason to get the other ones, because, like, there's the G1, there's the Legends, there's the Revenge of the Fallen one, ironically, and I've never messed with that one, but that one does look really cool. And then there's the other Studio Series one based off the 80s, and I'm not going to buy that because I'm satisfied with my Titans Return one, and I don't need an upgrade. But I love this one. This one is so good. So good. Like, if you are in Walmart and you see this set, get this set, because you're still paying full price for this Brawn, and he's worth it, and you get a bonus Ratchet. And, you know, when you're technically getting this Ratchet for free, whether you love him or hate him, there's not really much to complain about, because you're not paying for him. And Thundercracker here, he's alright. Like, he's not bad by any means. And he is not in as good of a condition as the person who sold him said he was. Because I would not call this a like-new figure. He's definitely got some beating to him, which is shocking, because, I mean, this toy isn't that old. Didn't this come out in 2022? Like, he feels like he's been around for a few more years. Like, whoever owned him must have given him some decent play, and also lost pieces to him, because I'm pretty sure he has extra guns that go on his wings, but, you know. Honestly, movie I don't like, but good toy, okay toy. And I still don't like this design. I really don't. It's better as Ratchet than it is as Ironhide, though. Like, Ironhide is the one that makes me mad. Like, because I've always thought G1 Ironhide is very boring. He's a very boring character. I'm sorry, G1 people, he is. So having a love praise to G1 Ironhide through this design, and I still don't think this design is good. Just this, like I said, this giant torso, these tiny elbows. Like, I think it's a very ugly design, but it looks a lot better on Ratchet than it does Ironhide, and Ratchet is just a better character than Ironhide in every Transformers fiction, so this is the version of that mold to get if you're gonna get that mold. Yeah. So do I like this design now that I got a toy of it? Not really, but I love these two. Love them, even if they're based on a movie I don't like. And you know what? Just bring in Bumblebee, since they're from the Bumblebee movie. I did not bring in as many toys as I thought I was going to. I have a bunch on the side here. But yeah, I know a lot of people love these Bumblebee movie guys, and we're getting more of them. We're getting Sunstreaker in that style, supposedly based off concept art, but there's some theories that that's a lie, and it's just an excuse to do G1 characters in the movie style, and I am gonna get that Sunstreaker, even though he kind of doesn't look that great, because I have always wanted Sunstreaker in the movie universe, ever since Sideswipe showed up, and I'm like, come on, give us the brother. Sunstreaker's so much cooler than Sideswipe. And now we're getting him, and he looks, but I'm gonna give him a shot. And I was gonna get the Megatron, even though I don't really like that... Get out of here, Brawn. Even though I don't really like that concept art Megatron from the Bumblebee movie, I think it might actually be the worst. Even worse than this. Well, the Ironhide version of this. Of the designs from the Bumblebee movie, but even still, that toy looks really fun, but I think I'm gonna skip him, actually, at this point, just save some money, because, I mean, I got this Megatron, I got so many other Megatrons, I got Dark of the Moon, I got Revenge of the Fallen, I got the Age of Extinction. I've got plenty of this character in my movie collection, and why would I get the one that wasn't even in the movies, when I have so many good toys, based off of what is actually on the screen already. But yeah, and who knows who else we're gonna get in this concept art design, because I mean, I hope we get concept art figures based off real concept art, like stuff that we know is real, because like we said, we don't know if that Sunstreaker is real. We don't know if that Rumble is real. But I hope it's just not an excuse to give us the entire G1 cast in Bumblebee style. I hope we also get, what's his name? It's Breakaway, right? From the Revenge of the Fallen game. We need to get him. Because he was concept art from the movie that was used in the video game. He's awesome. He could use a new toy. But even still, Brawn great, Thundercracker alright, Ratchet alright, even if the design is kind of boring. Fun toys. Definitely get this Brawn if you have any interest in movie Transformers. But yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say. See you guys around.